Republican plan in the first 100 days is to reduce what Trump calls job-killing regulations. This means the energy sector stands to win big. Trump will be the most friendly oil president we've seen in years, if you believe his rhetoric. Pipelines and energy projects will get the green light faster under Trump. So what does this mean for the Keystone XL project, along with the Dakota Access Pipeline? Ed Kleeb joins us tonight. She's the chair of the Nebraska Democratic Party in Bold, Nebraska. Jane, good to have you with us this evening. Thanks for your time. I want to know your gut feeling about where Trump is going to go with climate change, if anywhere, and the projects that your group, Bold Nebraska, did so successfully in fighting the Keystone XL pipeline. What's going to happen to all of that?
You know, well, Trump is saying that he's going to get rid of the executive order that requires the State Department to review any pipeline that crosses our U.S. border. And that's obviously very dangerous, because if he does that, that means a pipeline from Saudi Arabia, Russia, whoever, that wants to cross into the United States would literally have no federal oversight, no review, no environmental review. No federal agency right now, other than the State Department, reviews those pipelines when it crosses one of our borders. So he's being reckless. And on the other hand, you have his daughter, Ivanka Trump, coming out yesterday saying that one of her signature issues that she wants to work on while her dad is president is climate change. And so we're very uneasy. Everybody's uncertain about how this is all actually going to unfold.
What about the Dakota Access Pipeline? How do you see this unfolding and coming to a conclusion?
So the reality is people are not leaving. And so we also, just like we did on Keystone, Ed, we're actually going to be bringing teepees to the National Mall and to Lafayette Park. We're going to bring Standing Rock to D.C. We think it's time that President Obama actually sees the faces of the folks up at Standing Rock. It was one of the few reservations that President Obama actually visited. So he was actually at Standing Rock before all of this happened several years ago, promising the chairman that he was going to make sure that their water's protected. And so now we truly believe that President Obama is trying to find a way to stop this pipeline. We think that one of those ways is that they could declare— So
when are you going to bring Standing Rock to D.C.? When's this going to happen?
It's going to be the week of December 12th. We're going to bring teepees from North Dakota down to D.C.
All right. So you want the President of the United States to order an environmental impact study, which I understand is not required because this is not an international project. And if he does that halt the project? And what would a Trump administration, how would they legally be able to deal with that?
So it is mind-boggling, and I'm sure viewers are like, what do you mean oil pipelines in the United States don't have an environmental review? But it is true. Gas pipelines do, oil pipelines don't. They have to go through some state regulations, but there's no federal agency that actually reviews a pipeline before it goes into the ground. We are obviously certain that Donald Trump would try to reverse anything that President Obama does, which is why there is this new creative idea that our revolution and some other groups have started to put out, and that Senator Sanders and all the tribes agree with, that President Obama could declare Standing Rock a national monument. That would take it off of the map for any oil and gas development, and it would mean that the Dakota Access Pipeline for that land and that river crossing are completely dead.
I have not heard that. You're asking the president to make Standing Rock a national monument? That would change the dynamic of everything, wouldn't it?
That's right. And there's actually strong cultural resource reasons to do so. Sitting Bull, Chief Sitting Bull, was on that land, and there were several really essentially significant events, not only the sacred sites, the water, now the big cultural moment of hundreds of thousands of eyes on Standing Rock and tens of thousands of people descending there. So there is a strong argument, and I think you'll see some news from Senator Sanders on Monday with President Obama on that issue.
Okay, I want to know quickly, Jane, your thoughts on the deadline December 5th from the Army Corps of Engineers. Does it mean anything?
You know, the Army Corps really walked a lot of that back. They had actual conversations with the tribe, and the letter that went out was very different than the conversation that they had with not only Standing Rock, but Cheyenne River. So I don't think that the Army Corps is going to evict anybody forcibly. I am deeply concerned about the North Dakota and the local county sheriff's department. They are the ones who've been shooting people with rubber bullets and water cannons at close range, causing a tremendous amount of violence. One woman almost lost her arm, as you know. One woman's now blind in one eye. There's significant violence happening there. Not at Obama's hands.
All right.
Jane, it's at the North Dakota governor.
All right. Jane Kleeb, Bold, Nebraska, good to have you with us tonight. I appreciate your time. Thanks so much.